Perfect. Way to go.
Can't see it, but we can hear it. Just a-
Perfect.
Yeah.
Scott said he would be zooming in, so I expect him to zoom in anytime.
Yeah, I started the recording just so when he comes in, we can get started.
Okay, awesome.
So this copy without the stuff is the copy that's gonna go to the meeting.
They'll get both.
It's a clean copy.
Yeah, they'll get both just so that people can see the,
Explanations.
yeah, the changes that have been made.
Hmm.
I'm not really expecting anyone to look at I wanted to give people the option to look at the clean version because the notated version.
Well, they won't, but if you didn't, somebody would complain.
Right.
So,
Yeah, the one with all the notes can get confusing, so I just wanted to give people a clean version.
Yep.
Make it a little bit easier.
that one. I mean, you might get a handful of people that actually go through this, but I doubt it. Well, it's a lot, you know, especially if you're not up on some of this stuff. It's kind of like,
Right.
you know, to me, I just go through and see if it makes sense. Kind of. And of course, then you gotta deal with the legalese part that they put in. Anyway, so how's Kelly doing? Look, she's still there. Apparently. Okay.
Yes, I was typing and I had to get back to the screen to unmute myself.
She's not paying attention.
No, I'm typing. I was sending out the meeting link just in case Scott didn't have it, because I would have expected him to be in the meeting by now.
Well,
So I just sent it off to him just to be sure, but
yeah.
Bailey and I both spoke with him and he said that he would attend via Zoom, so.
So if we all think this is good, then you want to move it on to the selectmen,
Yes,
and then they'll decide
and then.
to put it on the warrant or not. I'm sure they will.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we'll have we need to have them, set the public hearing.
Yeah. Cool. That works.
And I think, Bailey, did you say that the planning board has halted anything else until after January? Is that what you had said to me?
Yeah, they've taken a break from ordinance work until January. So that gives me December and probably a little bit of the beginning of January to do research on the lighting and the alternative energy. And I think mooring was another thing we wanted to look at.
So they're looking at solar, is that what they're looking at pretty much, or windmills or anything?
Anything, just because we have solar is what brought it up, but we want to cover our bases with anything.
Cool. It's quite the deal they got on the way to Augusta from Farmington. Holy crap. That we don't want.
No,
Yeah, that one in Farmington is massive.
Keep getting, I go by there. They got new frames up down the highway for Augusta more. It's like, wow. But that's okay. That's a good spot for it.
It is. It's not a bit, I mean, it's not a huge residential area. So if you're going to put it somewhere, I guess that's not bad.
It probably made some farmer rich.
Yes, absolutely it does.
That's okay.
have you heard from Ethna?
I have not heard from Ethna. I did hear from Scott. Ethna did not respond. So what do we do in the circumstance that Scott doesn't attend? We'll have to adjourn, correct?
Yeah, I don't think you can have a one-man show here.
Yeah, no, that's not a quorum since it's a three-man board.
Timeline for getting this all put together.
Yeah, because I have to get it back to, Kristen needs a week to review before we get it to the Board of Selectmen,
Okay.
or before we have the public hearing.
Ugh.
Public hearing on December 8th, 9th or 10th.
Is that the latest that we can have it to make it for March?
Yes, that's the latest that we can have it to make it for March. That's why I just left those dates on there.
So you need how many did 10 days prior to that, right?
Yes,
So around the end of November, last day of November, maybe.
that gives me next week. Yeah, and with the holiday next week, I kind of wanted to get it out by Monday or Tuesday because we're closed Thursday, Friday. I'm out Wednesday.
Can we preemptively get something out for a public hearing, or does the Board of Selectmen need to see it before?
The Board of
There's-
Selectmen needs to see it.
Okay. Do they even have a meeting before next week to call the public hearing?
The Board of Selectmen's next meeting is December the 7th.
How does that work?
Yeah, so
That doesn't work, right?
that's why.
That's not enough time.
Right, that's why we're real tight here. Oh
Yeah.
no, can you hear me? It says my internet is unstable.
You're
Can you hear me?
breaking
Yeah.
up a little bit, but yes,
Sorry, guys.
that's all right.
Well, I wonder if we can get them in here tomorrow. I mean, we don't.
Right,
Huh?
I was thinking the same thing. Could we adjourn and then see if we can do something tomorrow or even Friday? I know everyone hates Friday meetings, but
Well, I mean, it's not gonna be a long meeting. I don't think.
Right.
Plus, we need to do it. Or else it's gonna screw up the works.
right.
So I'm good tomorrow. I have to go to Farmington in the morning for a chiropractor one, but I'm good all afternoon.
I'm
Okay.
out for doctors tomorrow as well, but I don't necessarily have to be there. I mean, I can take the minutes via Zoom later, so.
Right, and I mean, if they wanted to do it earlier in the day, that's also an option.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's pretty flexible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my problem. I have to be in Farmington at 9.
No, we probably wouldn't do that early.
Or early Friday morning. if that-
Well, I'm trying to think off the top of my head what the statute is on posting. If we have a special meeting, don't I have to post so many days in advance?
True.
So that would put us at the beginning of next week.
It's not gonna.
Because today's Wednesday. So what I will do in this circumstance where I will message legal tomorrow morning and just explain the circumstances to them and see if that's the absolute latest possible date for us to have a public hearing, or if we can push it out a little bit. And then I will email Bailey back so she can let us all know ASAP.
Okay.
That seems like the best option at this point, unless someone else has other thoughts.
He shows up and I don't know his phone number or anything.
Yeah,
Something has, he's usually pretty much reliable.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if that's what you guys if you guys both agree with that and you'd like me to, I'll reach out to legal tomorrow if it's okay with you, Johnny, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll give you a call when I'm done with the chiropractor, maybe. So I'll call somebody. here.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because my call's forward to my cell phone anyway. So,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. So I guess we'll adjourn. You're the only one there. You got to make a motion.
Do we want to wait a few minutes? It's only 10
Yeah,
hours.
I mean, it's only 5 after, so
Okay.
let's wait like the quarter after maybe.
Yeah, I think that's,
And
Yeah.
then
we'll give him a little while.
he's not gonna say it was only 5 minutes late, you guys left.
True.
Do you have his phone number?
Yeah, that was my next question.
It's in my office somewhere, but in my Rolodex, but I don't have it in my personal cell phone. No.
Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have it in my personal phone.
Yeah, do we have a phone book here somewhere?
In my office, there's a phone book. I have the business one and I have the yellow one and the pink one.
Yeah, I think it's
Let
probably.
me go
under-
see if your office is open. I'll see if you said you got his number in your Rolodex.
Or just in the regular pink phone book.
Yeah, grab the phone book, the yellow phone book.
All right,
It's like a little one. It's the Rangeley Region phone book.
What the heck?
I know.
Really? That's why you
Uh,
need 3 people to be on the board.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's always something, isn't it?
You know what it is?
It definitely is.
Especially when you're under deadlines.
I know, that's the tough part. Everything has a deadline.
Oh, well. We'll figure this out somehow.
Yeah, I'll see what legal has to say tomorrow. See if we have any flexibility, with those public hearing dates. So,
Yeah, because if we could meet either tomorrow or Friday, we don't have to post.
yes, yeah, I will double check with that as well, because if I don't have to post, then we can meet tomorrow or Friday. So,
Because we didn't have a meeting, so.
right.
That count, you know what I mean?
Right, we haven't opened the meeting yet because there's no one else there, so.
I can't imagine it's gonna be a big whoop if we move it 1 day or 2 days. You never know.
Right, exactly. Right, I know, some of those things are real strict, so I'd like to double check and then it go from there.
It could be just one of those things, go ahead and do it, just don't tell anybody.
Right.
Well, I don't know, we'll see. How are you making out?
Good. I'm glad the kids are back 4 days a week. That's nice to only have to be home on Wednesdays at least.
True. That you can plan for, so
Yeah,
someday it'll be.
yeah. But 4 is better than 1 day is better than 5, so I'll take that for sure. What about you? You hanging in there?
Oh, yeah. I just would like to be able to go somewhere besides Farmington.
I know. And the holidays aren't going to be the same for you this year, that's for sure.
My daughter lives in West Palm Beach, so we usually go there for Christmas. And my son lives in Asheville, and he usually drives down, so. That's not happening.
I know. I hate to miss out on all the family time, but
You know what, it's still better than getting stuck.
yeah.
all right, let's see.
Did you find it?
I don't know.
I found it,
Okay.
but I must have missed, he said he tried to get in at one point. But. there's
So
no
he hasn't
way
even
to-
tried this.
I missed it when it popped up because there's no one back here to let people in.
Oh, okay.
So that will tell you if he's tried to sign in yet, or
Yeah, it should pop up with him asking to. There it
good somebody else understands this thing.
Oh, Scott, hi.
Hey,
There we are.
yeah, we were just about to pack it in.
Well, I was sitting here for 10 minutes and I was like,
Yeah, well, we figured something was up.
I couldn't get in.
Bailey's running the meeting solo, so there was no one back there to see that you were trying to get in. I apologize.
That's okay. It's like, well, maybe they're not doing it.
Well, let's open the meeting. Open this meeting, November 18, 2020, Rangeley Ordinance Committee, first thing is pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Let me see. So what we're looking at here is this, the chapter 38,
Yeah.
and that we need to move it on to the selectmen today so that they can have their meeting and then they can post it for a public hearing.
Okay.
And do you have anything about this you want to
I had two questions as I was looking through it. The first is on page 3806. And it's no building or other structure, permanent or temporary. And I realize they put an exception down below, a single-story detached accessory structure, but my question is, what about someone who has a shed in their yard and they want to put up a greenhouse? Because I'm not a greenhouse, a screen house. That's a temporary structure, or a playhouse, or a tree house. Those are all temporary, you know. This doesn't really differentiate there.
Well, you can do it, you just have to get a permit to do it, or at least let them know you're doing it, yes.
If it's under 200 square feet, I'm not sure what the, I guess MUBEC says single accessory structure, but according to the international code that MUBEC follows, that then we follow, accessory structures under 200 square feet do not need a permit. And it
How
does,
many- I mean, one accessory structure or multiple accessory structures?
yeah, it doesn't specify what, we have people like wood sheds. If people are adding on just like a little roof to cover their boiler or something like that,
Right,
those can be done without a permit.
okay. That was just my question, because as I read it, it's like, it doesn't really say. And I could see a lot of, you know,
It's not specified, because it is specified elsewhere in the code that a dwelling needs to be over 600 square feet. So we're not gonna have people, if people are trying to build a dwelling under 200 square feet, then that would become an issue.
right. And I understand why it's there. Just like I said, I could see some issues with it, you know. It's one of those things.
Well, you know, it is, hopefully, woodshed is probably not temporary,
Well,
stuff like that, I mean,
right, it can be permanent or temporary under 200 square feet.
because I noticed, I don't know, I'm saying it's probably 10 years ago. There's a garage, this guy came in, I remember, wanted to build a garage, so he could store all this stuff to build his house. Well, the garage is now his house. He put windows and a door in it. It's unbelievable. And
They
they're
built
living
it
it.
without a house there.
No, there was never a house.
Well, the first issue is you can't have an accessory structure if you didn't have a house, so.
Well, somehow they told him it was okay, build the garage, put all your stuff in it for the winter, and then when you come back, you can start doing your house. Well, they never did the house. And they put a few windows in and a door, regular door. You know, took the garage door apart, put a regular door in and some windows, and they've been living in it for, I bet 5-6 years. Anyway. So my question is that even legal? I mean,
That's a code violation.
no, but I mean, okay, so if I come to you and I say, listen, I want to build a garage this fall, I'll put my stuff in it, the lumber and everything I'm building a house with, or whatever. Is that possible? Can they do that?
Only in the Route 17 overlay district because it's
Right.
permitted.
I get that.
Anywhere else, they can't.
Well, they've done it, so there's no specific against that, it's just, you can't do it.
From what it sounds like, the code enforcement officer at the time gave them a permit for both, which allowed them to build the one structure, and then they never built the second structure. That's what I would guess happened.
Because originally the garage looked like a garage,
Mhm.
now it looks like a garage they turned into a house, they put a bunch of windows in and a door, so.
This sounds like a code violation that was never addressed.
Anyway, yeah, but is there a specific? You can't put the cart before the horse kind of thing,
Yes, you have to have a dwelling before you can have an accessory structure.
a garage, okay.
I just, like I said, I was just curious as I looked at this. The other question I had, and it's more a matter of semantics, is on 3902. It's when you're talking about signs. Just so you know, I was an electromechanical engineer for 15 years, and I think you've got a conflict here. Because under that section, number 2 talks about an electric motor, But number 3 talks about electromechanical input. A motor is electromechanical.
Okay,
And so you're saying in one side, it can't have electromechanical input, but down below you say, oh, it's got a motor. So it's, wait a minute, a motor is electromechanical.
number 2.
You're talking about mechanically activated, rotation activated by a mechanical system powered by electrical motors. And then below, you're talking about electromechanical input, but a motor is electromechanical input.
They're talking about the general safety standards.
Page 39, animated signs which are differentiated from electronic reader board signs. Electronic changeable signs include the following types: environmentally activated, mechanically activated, and electrically activated.
Oh, okay, I see where you're going.
And under electrically activated, they use the term electromechanical. And under mechanically activated, they talk about an electric motor. That is an electromechanical device.
So 2 and 3 are basically the same thing.
Yes, by what they're, and now I don't think they intend it, but in essence, if someone wanted to push this, you've got a problem. You've got a conflict with the wording. Because I can make that point that I'm using an electromechanical device.
So would you recommend just taking away the electric motors in number 2 and number 2?
I would. Unless you want to make an exception and say how electric motor would, you know, the only electrical mechanical device allowed is an electric motor. I'm just saying the way it's worded right now, it's too vague.
Okay,
So remove 2 altogether.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the intent was. Mechanical, it could be pneumatic, you know, you got a motor. I can't even think of a mechanical sign anymore. You know, those are,
Yeah, well, electrically activated is also mechanically activated. No,
I'm just adding a note here to check that and see if that was just a copy pasted definition from somewhere.
right.
And
Like I said, you could fix it by specifically allowing a motor, you know, but I'm just saying, as it stands now, there's a conflict between the way it's worded.
yeah, I mean, you got the wording, is mechanical system powered by electrical motor in 2, and then you go down here, it says electrically activated, which is basically the same thing, electronic, electrical, or electromagnetical.
Right.
That'll work. Anyway,
It's not a big thing, but I just don't want to see us getting in, you know, some point in the future, we should try to keep it as clean as possible. No one else may ever pick up on it, but like I said, given my background, I look for those things.
well, we could have someone else who has that background and uses it somehow.
there you go.
So it's good to know.
It's a possibility.
Well,
Like I said, I can't think of any mechanical signs right now, but who knows?
2 and 3 are basically redundant. I mean, they only need one.
It would seem to be that way.
If you get rid of 2, you have the same thing here on 3, except for it's longer and more explanation of it. I don't know.
The only way they're not redundant is if you would have a pneumatic device or a windmill driving it that's a purely mechanical piece. But again,
There's still a battery, which still makes it electrically.
Yeah, that's
activated.
true.
a battery is still electrical.
Yeah.
A relay is electromechanical. That's what I'm saying. I think there's some, you know,
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Right, I just noted that and
See what
see
shakes
what,
out.
yeah. We'll
that was
see
all I had.
about just removing it.
I don't know, but yeah. When you look at it, it definitely looks like this, you're talking about 2 things, the same thing. In 2
Yeah.
different spots, so, anyway, yeah. Cool.
That was all I had. Everything else, you know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff there.
Oh, Tony.
And another thing, I don't know if I said this when you were here, Scott. The planning board is taking a pause from ordinance work until January to give time for research on adjusting the lighting ordinance,
Okay,
adding a section for alternative energy, including solar, wind, thermal, all those things. They're also gonna take another look at signs, because we did put in that table, they wanna have some more time to double check those things. We did discuss it a little bit in the last meeting. And
So-
then mooring, so those are gonna go for June. So I'm gonna take December and probably the beginning of January to do some more research into those, to then present to the planning board and bring back here.
so we probably won't meet till January then.
No,
January or February, I don't know
Okay,
what the timeline is for June.
works for me.
So if you have, no other questions about this?
I don't. I've been through it a couple times. I've asked you a couple things. That's pretty
I,
much.
I think, like I said, mine weren't big things, but it's like, those are what stuck out at me, so.
Yeah, well, you've had two different lawyers look at it, the planning board look at it, two code enforcement officers look at it, and us. And then now the selectmen are gonna, they're probably not gonna go through it. They'll probably take what we tell them, but
Right.
you never know.
That's the point of all these checks and balances, make it easier on them.
Well, if you run it by enough people, kind of thing. So what we need is a motion to move this on to the selectmen. If you would do some stuff.
Let's make the motion, we move this on to the selectmen. Was it section 38,
Chapter 3.
chapter 38?
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
There.
Is that all we need, Kayla?
Yeah, so we'll move it on to the selectmen and then the selectmen will take it from there. Yes,
I'll make the public hearing and whatever.
yes.
Cool. Anything else we need to ask over here?
I think we're good. I don't know if we're gonna take the rest of, if the planning board's taking time off from going over any ordinance stuff. I'm not sure. We should probably take a pause from our next regular meeting, I would assume,
Yeah,
unless you guys want to continue to meet regularly.
Well, my only question is there anything we can be working on? I mean, this was a lot to digest.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't particularly want meetings for the sake of meetings, but if there's material we can look at, that's
Right.
one thing on
Right.
our own.
My plan is, as I'm doing research, I'm going to draft up ordinances with the help of AdCog and Kristen to bring to you, and as they're ready, I will give them to you, so it won't be a huge packet a week before a meeting.
there you go.
Okay. Yeah, if we
Okay.
can get them, in advance of the meeting, so we can look at them, and then when we have the meeting, it's pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't mind keeping them regularly. I mean, if Bailey has new chunks for us to go over every meeting, then I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's something to do, you know.
Let's see how it goes. I mean,
okay.
There will be a brief pause because I won't be getting to any research at least until
Okay.
December.
So when was our next meeting scheduled?
well, if we're going into January,
All right, let's see, our next meeting would fall on, yeah, our next meeting, so we meet on the 1st and the 3rd, so our next meeting would be the 2nd of December.
Which is in like. So,
Do we want to just skip that one and still have the next scheduled
yeah, why don't we
meeting?
do that?
Okay, so instead of the 2nd, we'll skip the 2nd and we'll go to the 16th, so we'll just skip one meeting.
okay,
Okay.
We need to review the minutes. I went right by it for some reason.
Oh. Thank you, Donnie.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for October 7th, 2020 and October 21st, 2020.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Cool.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. I'll get those up on the website for people.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
What is the next, not the beginning?
the 16th, so the next meeting will be December the 16th. And I'll post that on the website for people. I'll let them know that we'll not be meeting on the 2nd.
That works.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, all righty.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Awesome. Have a great night, guys.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Kayla. Missing something.